Hello you guys, and welcome to Abundantly Minimal. My name is Sarah, and today we're doing a podcast recap of episode number 14 of the Abundantly Minimal podcast called Taking Nothing But Pictures. Now we start off with the idea of a quote that you may have seen at one point on Pinterest or wherever: leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but pictures, kill nothing but time. And I think this is typically referred to in a travel sense, but I really find that it strongly relates to minimalism and how we can change our way of life. You know, what's kind of interesting is that throughout life, just, in a standard American existence, you over time gradually gain more possessions and kind of collect things along the way. Not just pictures, but tangible things. Whether you're going through the phase of childhood to young adulthood to moving out on your own, maybe you get married or join forces with someone else. Moving forward, then you have your own kids maybe and have some of their possessions. Eventually we keep gaining possessions and it can feel overwhelming. Before long, we have so many things that we're holding on to that we just keep building on, and it can be really tough to deal with. Furthermore, I think that when we have so much and a large excess, it can be really tough for us to sift through what's actually important and what's not. And it's tough for us to give the value that some of these items deserve when there's just a sheer abundance of them. So what can we do about it? I think one of the best ways to do is try to break attachment from some of these items. Maybe this is a mental shift. Maybe we really ask ourselves if this item still brings us the value it once did when we were at an earlier stage in life. Before we move on to a future stage, maybe it's important for us, whether it's with ourselves, our families, our kids, I think it maybe is valuable to go through and say, okay, out of these things, what is it that's most important to us? Which items are we holding on to that no longer seem very important? I know personally, I do still have childhood possessions, but I've managed to fit all of these things in one of those large plastic tubs. And that goes from pretty much like birth until college. And I have a lot of very valuable possessions to me in there, sentimental things, and I've limited it to one box rather than many boxes or crates of stuff where it's tough to go through. You've got to commit to a full day to going through those. That has been helpful to me. I think it's important to question when we bring new things into our lives, such as after travel, does this add value? Am I getting this just to serve as a memento? In that mindset, I think unfortunately, sometimes we're actually not spending all of our energy in that actual moment. We're not putting our energy in that moment when we're creating the memory. Instead, we're thinking that buying these things can do that for us. At the end of the day, I think if we focus on maximizing each moment that we're in, really living in that moment, living intentionally, indulging in the five senses and what's going on around you with undivided attention, that is where I think you can create the richest memories, when you're really fully immersed in the moment, rather than buying a t-shirt or a souvenir or some other item and letting that be the symbol. So that is just a brief summary of some of the topics we talked about in this podcast episode. Please feel free to check it out on iTunes at the Abundantly Minimal Podcast, and I'll also put links down below for the blog post where you can also listen at abundantlyminimal.com. If you are enjoying the podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe to us on iTunes or leave a rating or review. It helps the podcast out a lot and helps us reach more listeners. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!